Okay, let me see. Is that better? Check something. Let's see. What was it? Appreciate you. So greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome. See if it wasn't listen, if it wasn't for the goat, we'd be on mute, right? I appreciate you, listen. So yesterday we were sharing or the day before, it was the 24th. I was letting you all know that my trading journal in 2024, every day we would do a stoic lesson and then we would also do a trading psychology lesson. And so last year, the same date, 2/26/2024, it says to each his own, her own, however you identify. It says even though it's easy to fight back, it's tempting to give a piece of your mind, resist. Another has done me wrong, let him see to it. But it also says don't take it out directly on that person. Write a letter and then tear it up after. So sometimes life's and it's easy to fall into frustration, anger, disharmony. And the more that we can train ourselves to resist that urge, the better we'll become. And speaking of becoming better, this day, our lesson is about the 1% rule, the power of 1%, and how small gains lead to massive success. Okay. The myth of overnight success. Everybody wants to flip a small account. Let me turn this music off. I can tell this is loud. Let me pause this. Everybody wants to flip a small account. Everybody say, "I'm gonna flip 500 to 500,000," and they wanna do it overnight. They want the big wins. They want the fast results and that one life-changing trade. And I believe that is why so many traders fail, simply because trading like wealth, like success, like mastery is not built in one day. It's built in tiny, consistent improvements over time. 1% better. That's all we need. Just 1%. And it doesn't even sound like much, does it? It really doesn't. But let me share with you that 1% better every day isn't just a small improvement. It's literally the foundation of everything that makes traders successful. Years ago, there was this, I'll call it a meme that was going around on Instagram, and it showed you the power of compound interest over time. And so when we're thinking about the math of 1%, and you really start to understand why small gains lead to big results. And even further, let's just do some quick math. I love math. I love it. I I attempt to do most calculations in my head. And here's something that most people assume. Most people assume if you focus on improving 1% per day for a year, that you're 365% better. That's not the case. Through the power of compound interest, you are actually, and don't take my word for this, find an investment calculator that calculates compound interest. But at the end of that year, you are actually 3,778% better because improvement compounds. It starts to stack on top of itself and it multiplies over time. So this is the same principle that makes compound interest. So you probably have heard the familiar phrase or familiar saying that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. That's what makes compound interest so powerful. When you reinvest profits, they generate their own profits. When you stack skills, they reinforce each other. When you develop discipline, just 1%, it's going to fuel better habits for you. So those tiny incremental changes compounded over time create exponential results. This is why, in my opinion, great traders, we're not chasing quote unquote huge wins. We're just focusing on small, consistent progress. And that could show up as a slightly tighter risk management plan. That could show up as slightly better execution. And it definitely shows up when we're talking about being slightly more patient. Yes. And so every tiny adjustment is going to stack. And over time, that is what's going to turn you into an elite trader. So let's talk more about how this applies to trading growth because the edge isn't a big leap, it's actually just a small habit. And so often when people come across either our coaching program at the billionairetradingclub.com or I meet people in the streets or TikTok, Instagram, they think that they need some sort of revolutionary system to make money. And I have to let them know that they don't. They need evolutionary improvement, a little bit better every single day. 1% more patience means fewer impulsive trades. 1% more discipline means tighter stops. 1% better execution means a higher win rate. And so when you stack those micro improvements, suddenly, these small wins become big wins. The discipline that becomes second nature, and then the process becomes effortless. When I was a kid, my cousin RJ, he was an only child, in his room, if you can imagine the the containers for when you have a water dispenser at an office, that big 5-gallon container in his room, he used to put pennies in there every single day. I'm talking about years when we were kids, up until the point where he has his own baby now. And so that money stacked up over time, but it's just 1 penny a day. So again, when you stack on those micro improvements, the process, we were talking about that yesterday, the process becomes effortless. And this is why us elite traders, we're not searching for the quote unquote perfect trade. There's a video on the channel where I talk about the perfect entry is a myth. It's a myth. What we're actually doing as elite traders is perfecting ourselves. And then the traders that embrace the 1% rule, they don't just win, they never stop winning. Traders that ignore the compound effect, they're going to fail. And the problem is that they're not thinking long term. They want instant results. They want to deposit $100 today and be a millionaire overnight. So when they don't see those massive gains right away, guess what we do? They overtrade, they revenge trade, and then worst case scenario, they're abandoning their strategy. In that impatience, that is the fastest way to lose everything. Because if you're always looking for a shortcut, you'll always be behind the traders who are slowly, steadily improving every single day. So that's the compound effect in action. So discipline compounds, experience compounds, and also confidence. it compounds. And if you trust in that process, the results will simply take care of themselves. My experience is that success is a product of small, smart choices repeated over time. So here is the question: what is going to be your 1% today? Not next week, not next month, today. Will you refine your risk management just a little bit more? Will you challenge yourself to wait for a higher probability setup? Will you journal your trades and learn from them? Because those are the little choices that make you profitable. It's not about a single lucky trade. It's not about having a magical strategy. Just small, smart, disciplined improvements that are stacking over time. And so we got to stop chasing the shortcuts, and we got to start stacking progress because, in my opinion, 1% better every day, it doesn't just make you a great trader, it literally makes you unstoppable. And so, further in this conversation, one of the things I wanted to share is because I have a lot of people that reach out to me for membership or coaching, mentorship rather. And one of the common things that some people say, and I also need to make the note that we are starting March 1st, the coaching programs will have a slight increase because since we're growing so fast, we have to make sure we have the systems in place to accommodate everyone. And I get messages under the same idea where someone's saying, "Hey, I would really like to join your program, but I can't afford it." And today, when I was at the gym, shout out to my friend Fatima, she really helped me to understand the simplicity because sometimes, because I've been investing in education for so long, it's second nature to me. And so when I hear someone say that they cannot afford something, to me, the question would be, well, how can you afford it? What modifications? And really how bad do you want it? Because sometimes we don't desire the success bad enough to make the sacrifice. It's no different from going to college. I'm sure you probably would agree that the average person cannot, quote unquote, afford to go to school. Now, I'm not saying, I know there's some trading gurus that'll tell you to run up your credit card, and just general gurus on the internet, finance gurus that'll tell you to put everything you got on your credit card. I'm not saying that, but look at this, because this is what she showed me today. Let's just say my coaching program costs $5,000. Now, of course, to the person that has $5,000, this conversation may not make sense. But to the person that's like, well, how can I make sense of that? One of the things that you can do is take a look at $5,000 over the course of a year, right? So we're going to take $5,000 and you're going to divide that by 365. And that's basically $13 a day. And so when you look at it in that regard, what can I do? What what talent can I explore? Who can I serve to the point of where I can earn $100 a week? So it's really about seeing how you can make whatever it is, even if it's not my program, there are tremendous number of education companies that are out there. And I always say, I think everyone that is teaching that has good intentions, I think all of the programs are great, and you need that. You need psychology 101 and 102 and 103 and 303 advanced psychology. You need a variety of experience so that you can draw and create your own success. But the point of the matter is how can I? And with that 1% better a day conversation, you start to realize that if you make incremental steps towards your goals, don't get overwhelmed by thinking, I have to run for 365 days. It's just today. Just focus on being 1% better today. And so, thank you to everyone that had an opportunity to join the live. And also, hopefully, there was something said that gave you an aha moment. And if there was, listen, I would love to hear about it. So be sure to share this video with your friends. Leave me a comment. I do respond to the comments. You can also send us an email. But we want to make sure this is a community of traders that are focused on cultivating the right mindset. Because just to reiterate, trading successfully is 95% mental, 5% technical, 95% the quality of your thoughts, and 5% your actual strategy. So until the next time, I hope that you continue to have a successful day. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Bree. And we will catch up tomorrow. We got 2 more days. Let me just say this. On Monday, I will be traveling. We may not have a live on Monday, but definitely as soon as we can get it back going, we'll be meeting back on Tuesday. But I will be traveling this whole week. And so that is a travel day. But we'll still have something in the pipeline for you to get some powerful inspiration on Monday. So enjoy the rest of the hump day. Go be great. Go be legendary and take care. Stay safe.